in a marketing class, people say that, look, people need to be aware about what your business offering is. That's when they start considering you. That's when they start attempting to buy. The young lady there wants to pick up travel, and she's looking for options. And you need to have some kind of engagement for consideration, and then they would purchase. Now, if you were to relook at e-commerce perspective, okay, now e-commerce would be at the far end of this classic purchase funnel. Most often, if you're doing e-commerce, don't forget that you need to work the entire classic purchase funnel. If you attempt to ensure that your load time of the website is better, your UI is better, and if products are greatly catalog, prices are good, offers are good, and if products are greatly catalog, prices are good, offers are good, but you have not worked the entire funnel, there's going to be a problem. This is where another concept that comes in. If you want to go ahead and do a lot of awareness, you need to buy media. That's called bought media. And most often as a fundamental, online ads, that's called bought media. And most often as a fundamental, online ads is also bought media. The fundamental part of it is that if you bought something as a media to communicate your marketing objective, you need to send that traffic to something that you own. Which means that that owned part also need to be in customer-centric plus plus. And if you were to give a good experience to the customer, he became aware, he bought your product, he came to your website and bought whatever, or he went to your store, he would be talking about you. That's where the earned media comes in. Earned media is all about social media. Right? And today, the earned media takes a whole lot of emphasis because customers bought something, they were in business. They were able to spend a lot of money, they're able to generate sales, but they were not very clear how these sales are increasing because of the bought media. But what's happening is the moment everybody is on the earned media, which is the customers, everybody wants to get there. Just to give you another example, I was doing a workshop for a pharmaceutical major, and then there was this oncology department. Oncology is a science of treatment of cancer. He said, look, Ratan, you're doing this workshop at the end of the quarter, and I need to present the next quarter plan. My entire team is there. I don't think digital marketing, online marketing is any relevant to me. I looked up and said, oh my God, 3 days of workshop is going in the air. I can't invoice. So what is it I can do? So I said, look, Mr. Gentleman, give me some 3 esoteric keywords of oncology. So he gave me some names which I couldn't spell. And I opened up Google, I opened up Facebook, I opened up LinkedIn. And I put those keywords there and pressed enter, thinking that something will come. Something drastic came up. There were conversations on oncology treatment. There were conversations on how a family which is going through a turmoil because somebody in the family is cancerous. That guy actually looked at it and said, I never knew there are so many conversations happening. He sat down for the entire 3 days. Which means that if you have, this is where the clients' businesses want to get there, because the customers are already there. Now, good thing is, once you get in there, you will understand that even here, I need to send something to the owned media, and the owned media would also is already optimized for any traffic, so I can go ahead and buy media to enhance my traffic to my own media. That's how the story starts. However, today, social media is very important because that's where everybody wants to get started with. Making sense? If you are not okay with the flow till now, you can raise your hand. Okay.
Can you explain what do you mean by an owned media?
Owned media is your home, your store, your website, okay, your campaign sites, your corporate, anything which you have complete control of. For example, your Facebook page, your company's Facebook page, is it an owned media? No? Yes. Say it loud, sir.
Your own Facebook page?
Yeah, Facebook page is not a owned media. It's rented one way or the other. One way.
Rented media, as a manner of speaking.
It's a bought/rented media. In fact, he made my jargon a little more specific. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a rented media. Okay? So, bought, probably next time I do it, I'll put a bought/rented media. Thank you very much. Okay? So, you need to get there. Again, we're looking at social media now. The complexity of platforms again is crazily out there. It's not at pegged right. There are no standards, there are no processes, there are no nothing. It's like a jungle that you need to go in and face the customers. And the customers can say anything. In fact, I'm jumping the gun, but if you want to get onto social media, it's like living in a glass house on a highway street in the middle of the night, all lights on, and you're naked. And that's the kind of perspective that you need to, even if you don't know what watts you have, customers would know. But we'll get to that as we go with it. Now there is an e-marketing funnel that people talk about, and I really want you to spend a little time on understanding the e-marketing funnel cannot be anything but customer service. If it is not, like for example, I would not know what is commitment here. I took one of the examples out there in terms of a funnel, but what I want to say that whenever you're working on the funnel part, ensure that it is customer-centric plus plus. Let's look at what is right as an e-marketing funnel. In fact, this slide is so loaded, we can talk about it for the next 3 hours. But I'll just give you, first thing is, you need to make the customer aware. If they are not aware, they would not consider you. But before they consider you, they need to engage with you. And what is engagement? Let's look at the class knowledge today. What is engagement? You made them aware. What is engagement?
Conversations.
Feeling connected.
One-to-one.
Being connected.
He actually says, I like your page, I share it, I comment on it, I send an email, I call into the call center, I visit your website, I come back again. There is an engagement happening. The moment this engagement gets to the purchase, that's where the trial comes in. In my experience, what I've seen is people start with awareness, they go to a little bit of engagement, and they jump off to advocacy. Okay, you came to my website, can you recommend my product on TripAdvisor? Have you seen that kind of a pop-up coming? You know, it could be say, look, you are on my website for the last 3 minutes, can you share it with Facebook? This is, you need to work this funnel out. You need to look at awareness, engagement, trial is when the purchase part of the classic purchase funnel comes in. Loyalty is when they have used you and they come back as a repeat customer. Advocacy is they buy you again, and they start talking about you. Today I've seen objectives for e-marketing. They want to do awareness and they want to do advocacy, but as a right funnel, you can't do awareness and advocacy. Probably you can do awareness and engagement. Probably you can do engagement and trial. You can do trial and loyalty, loyalty and advocacy. It's the adjacent funnel that you need to look at. If you really look at it, the funnel is like this. Right, you are seeing it from here. So, okay, this gets a little dabbling actually. Sorry for my, That's what you need to look at. And other thing which is good about this slide is you can actually say, okay, email marketing helps me drive my e-marketing from awareness to advocacy. My search engine optimization and search engine marketing, which is the paid listing, probably can have a little bit of awareness.
Can I get a copy of that slide? Just the later on.
Do they get a copy?
Everybody gets it. We'll send you the entire resolution.
I'm committed because Sid has committed, Okay, so because of those reasons, all businesses today want to get into e-marketing. Okay, and that's exactly why a guy like me wearing a bandana, moving around, is able to survive, is able to make sense, is able to make money, and is able to live in his own standards of living. There is a huge opportunity out there, and when I say do e-marketing, it could be very generic. Let's look at what it means. It means you need to understand consumers' online behavior, period. If you don't do that, you then integrate online media into marketing strategies, develop, understand various tactics, implement, and then start all over again. Right? And I would emphasize on this, understand consumers' online behavior. If you don't, probably you are putting in good amount of money on the internet space, may not get there in terms of your objectives. The classic situation, if you were to be in an MBA class, if you want to develop a marketing plan, this is what you would do. Know yourself and know your market, strategic analysis, objectives, very easy to understand, but it's very difficult to do because it needs a lot of time, intellect, sweat and tears in it. In fact, it takes about, if you were to be working on a marketing strategy for a specific product offering, it takes about 10 hours spread across 4 days. Assuming that you have the skill, knowledge and the attitude to do it. And then if I were to ask these questions to a client that I consult with, they would say, you know my client, look at my website, talk to this guy, I'm done. But that's not how it does. You know, what you need to know is, what is the business specific and what is business today? As I defined, you might not, yeah, I want you to, what is business? Please, be a little louder. No, I'm not going to shoot you off. It's revenue minus cost is equal to profit. You need to know the product. Product is market ready. It can be shipped now. And customer specific, which is the not only customer centric plus, it is the entire questions of what are they in flesh and blood. What's their standard of living? What are their emotions? What's their behavior? Right? And competition, for example. Thank you for coming. Yeah? So, sorry. So competition, after you, if you don't have all these details with you, you might not be able to do any analysis. Now this is where another fundamental reason. When you want to do analysis, you need to get, what do you need to have? Data. Okay, once you have data, what do you do? You do analysis to drive information. Once you have information, what do you do with it?
Use the information for making decisions.
Can I say
Could be correct.
inferences?
Inferences, yeah.
After you take an inferences, what would you do?
Take action.
You take action? You actually look at what are my action options. Yeah? What will you do after that? I'm breaking it down. Yeah, I want to see if anyone gets the next step. Huh?
Yeah,
Evaluation.
You would look at desired actions. Most often, people take inferences, they don't look at action options. Even if they looked at action options, they don't decide what actions that they need to take. And even if they have taken a decision to act, there is no action implemented. But this is a whole approach that I do when I do a little bit of web analytics, business analytics, and big data kind of a workshop. But this is an amazing thingy for you to get specific about it. You might have data, you might do information, you might do inferences. By the way, inferences is what is relevant and contextual to me. The different distance between Bombay and Chennai is 326 kilometers. It's data or information.
Information.
Is it relevant to me?
Not
I can't do any inferences. I need to be in Chennai from Bangalore in 4 hours flat. I can't do this until unless I have got a Ferrari with me. But if I have 8 hours, I will make a decision. I will take a good car to drive around. If I don't have the time, I will fly in. Okay? So you would be able to look at action options and desired options and so on. So this is exactly what you need when you do strategic analysis. And then you use different frameworks, which I don't want to really get into. You would have heard about them. If you have not heard about them, use Dr. Google. Okay? Then you have got this, which is like, we use it all the time. But use it with the right data. If you have only business specific, customer specific, no market specific, no product specific, no competition specific, your analysis would be biased. Look at that. Now this is where I wanted to come to another concept called business offering. When you want to market, you need to understand what is your business offering. Is it a pain related or is it a pleasure related? Let's go down the room and check out what could be a business offering which is a pain to the customer. How am I doing in time? Okay. Yeah, vocal card exercise please. You can shoot anything. Yeah, you're helping me a lot.
Marketing campaign for.
No, I'm looking at a business offering which, from the customer perspective, which is a pain.
Oh, which addresses the pain or which is the pain?
Which is a pain that the customer has.
Healthcare.
For me, the pain is choosing a product from the list of 100 SKUs or 100 products put in a shelf. It's a pain because
No,
so
no,
many
from the
products.
customer perspective, give me a business offering which the customer, okay, I have a headache,
Okay.
Yeah,
I
balm.
want,
Iodex.
Or tablet. Anderson.
I need to go to Bangalore from Chennai.
Something that solves a problem, pressing problem.
Something that addresses your pain is what I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Something that solves your pain.
Yes. Another one, yeah, I want, shoot, I mean like, you're here for to learn something with my,
Protective shoes, for example.
okay, pleasure, pain.
Could be pain, could be pleasure, could be both. I mean, at the most basic level, it's
You
something
need
that
to get very specific there because if you're not specific, your communication would not be emphatic. Let me give you an example. Insurance, is it pain or a pleasure?
Pain.
Pain? Okay, I'll give you this example. There is, it's a pain. Let's say I go to a young girl and say, hey, sometime later you're going to get married, you'll have kids, and you will die. And you can't leave them, homeless. You probably need to invest in insurance. Nah, go. It's a pleasure. Doesn't really need to. You go to a 40+ guy and say, boss, insurance. It's a pain for the 40+ guy, but for the 24-year-old girl or the boy, it's not. You need to change your marketing communication there. You say, hey, you want to be a millionaire? 45 years? Invest in insurance now. If you're able to understand, you would be able to work on your communication right. Right? Now for the guys who sell Mercs,
Basically, you're talking about understanding consumer need in depth, or to the core of consumer need.
Exactly. So even the identified customer and the need and want, if you look at the segmentation that you do, your marketing communication changes. That's where you need to get there. Now let me get another example of a pleasure. So we looked at an insurance, how it can be a pain to someone, how it could be pleasure for someone else. Pleasure. Hotel. So hotel could be a pleasure. No, my company gives me 8,800 rupees per day, and I have to find a hotel within that. Is it a pain or a pleasure? It's a pain. So depending upon whom you are looking at, so don't forget the customer-centric plus. The moment you get the guy off, you're all over the place and you're nowhere else. You with me? You're thinking. I wanted the question to be out.
I was thinking pleasure is something like luxury kind of.
No. It's the anything which has got a little lead time. Sochunga, baad mein aa jao. Call me later. The bank guy calls me, I desperately need 5 lakhs tomorrow because I need to pay my service tax as an entrepreneur. The bank guy does not call me now. He would call me when he saw my bank balance very high and say, sir, do you want a bank loan? Happens? It's the ready acceptance and the timing of it. You never bought car insurance, okay? But you met with an accident where you spent about 2.5 lakhs refurbishing the car. Would you not buy car insurance every time next time?
Yes.
So there is a lot of relevancy and the context to the way you should look at the business offering needs to be looked at from that perspective. Now once you understand that, then get into business. Revenue minus cost is equal to profit. I need to get a paying customer, and the paying customer has to be with me for the rest of her life, or until I close the shop. You with me? And once you get there, you would be able to work on your e-marketing in a lot more better way. E-marketing is all about customer-centric plus. If they don't say, hey Ratan KK, you are 44 years old, you stay in Mumbai, you can't buy a flat there, so invest in insurance. Right? That's the way. And this is something that I've seen many times over. Let's say, with my attire, I'm walking down and run into her, okay, and say hi. She will give me a look and say, okay. I again say hi, and she says, bugger off. And if I persist, probably she'll slap me or report to me to police. But now that we are connected, the next time she walks into me, I say hi, even if I have not remembered, or she does not remember, I would be able to say, hey, we met at the master class with me. So there is something called, and this is important because the specifics of digital marketing, you need to know how to say hi. The way you say hi to a CEO is very different to, that's the designation. But saying a hi to every individual is very different. For example, there is a person that I'm meeting and he is going through a divorce. He's my classmate, but he might not be accepting my hi. Likewise, your stranger, the customer, you need to know how to say a hi. On Facebook, on LinkedIn, on email, on the phone, on any time that he wants to touch with you. But the classic thing is, after you said hi, if you don't know what to say, the conversation, it's gone. Then again, I have to remind that person, look, 2010 we met, So you need to have the conversation in it. And when the conversation happens, that's when I as a marketer and you as a customer will start measuring each other. He has a good offer for the insurance that I want to buy. He has a good offer for Holi coming in. As a customer, as a guy, okay, this guy. So what we're doing is, in these conversations, we are identifying the intents. You want to sell a car to me, let's say Toyota Fortuner. Okay, you're a salesperson or a marketing person. I continue with all the details that I want, but at some point in time, I already bought, let's say, another car. When they come to me, in our conversations, the guy would know, iska intent nahi hai. You need to move on, because a car, somebody who bought a car will not buy a car